Good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to this afternoon's iOB business webinar. It is a pleasure to have you on here. It's a pleasure to see so many familiar faces again. And thank you to those of us if this is the first time you are joining us today. Okay, so today's iOB business webinar, we're going to be talking about identifying transferable skill sets. Okay, now skill sets are something that you're familiar with in your line of work. Fantastic. So skill sets really apply to what you're good at, what you're very familiar with, what you're skilled at. Okay, now transferable means that you can take it from one thing to another. Okay, so whenever you've heard of something being transferable before in the past, it means that you can take it from A to B. Okay, so we're going to talk about what identifying transferable skill sets means and how we can achieve that in today's session. Okay, so for those of you, if this is your first time on an iOB business webinar, my name is Ben. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the resident business coach here at iOB Business. Now, the way these webinars run, we usually do a little introduction with myself now, and then we dive into a presentation that's going to run for around about 15 to 20 minutes or so. Okay, and then after this presentation, we are going to open up the session for a little Q&A. So if you do have any questions for me throughout today's presentation, you can ask them about marketing, about sales, about business, whatever you like. Okay, you can also ask them about the presentation themselves if you have any specific questions. Now, in between each topic, we are going to take a brief pause. So we're going to cover 3 topics today, and we're going to take a brief pause between each topic to give you the chance to jot down any notes and ask any questions. So don't worry too much about trying to write down notes as we're talking. You'll have more than enough opportunity to do that in between each topic. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get ourselves set up for today's session. Okay, so you should be able to see the screen okay now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch off my video camera so that you can focus on the presentation. And if you would be so kind as to just let me know, can you see the screen okay? And can you hear my voice okay? And then we will get kicked off. All right, excellent. Okay. Looks like we're all good to go. Perfect. Everybody's good. Everybody's ready. Okay, fantastic. So today's conversation, identifying transferable skill sets. Okay, so your presenter today is myself. My name is Ben, and I am a business coach. Okay, so I specialize in working with small businesses, helping them to achieve stability and growth. Okay, it's my passion. I love to do this, and it's a real pleasure to be on here speaking with you today. Okay, so we're going to cover 3 items today. Number 1, each of us has a unique skill set. Okay, it's important to understand that you may not realize what it is that you can do in a great way. You will absolutely have that skill set, and we're going to talk about finding out what that skill set is. Number 2, we're going to look at thinking deeper. Okay, sometimes we need to go beneath the surface to figure out what the correct answer is. And finally, we're going to discuss trusting your experience. Okay, so beginning with topic number 1, each of us has a unique skill set. Okay, so the first point for you today, skill sets stem from education and experience. Okay, so if you think about anything that you've done in the past in your career, at school, at university, and further education, okay, maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a passion, okay. Now, where did you pick up the skills to do these things? Where did you pick up the skill to enjoy these things, okay? Now, there's a very good chance that whatever it is that you believe you have a skill set in, it came from in-depth education, okay, either conscious or subconscious, okay? Now, what I mean by this, I'm going to cover more of this in just a second. Conscious education is sitting in a classroom, reading a textbook. Subconscious education are learning without realizing it, okay? So maybe you're listening to audio, you're watching a video, you're keeping it on in the background, you're doing something, you're teaching yourself, okay? Now, this is subconscious education. But let's just say that you're trying to build a table, and the first time you try and build the table, you have to follow the instructions, and it becomes quite tricky. Second time you build the table, you don't need the instructions, you're trying to wing it. Third time you build the table, you're beginning to make adjustments to the table yourself because you're going through trial and error, okay? This is almost a form of subconscious education. Now, of course, comes with all of this is experience, okay? So experience is invaluable when it comes to growing skill sets. The longer we do something, the more familiar we become with it, therefore, the more skilled we become. Okay, so skill sets are then further developed and refined over periods of time with almost subconscious effort. Okay, so let's just say that you're working in a marketing agency, okay, and you're filling in reports. Okay, now the first time you do the report, it's going to be a little bit clunky. You're not going to be too sure about where to put what and how many figures you should put in and how you should detail the report. Now, this becomes over periods of time easier, more refined, okay? Almost with subconscious effort, because you've done so many reports, you're picking up little tips, little tricks to get them done quicker. You're extrapolating the data that you need faster. You're going to the right place at the right time, okay? You're not wasting any time, therefore you're becoming faster, leaner, more skilled at whatever it is that you're doing, okay? Skill sets are then further developed and refined over periods of time with almost subconscious effort, okay? You do something once, it's significant effort. You do something twice, it's slightly less effort. The sequence goes on, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th time, it gets easier each time. Okay, so the more times you do something, the better you will become at it. Now, this is for lots of reasons. It's because you've done it so many times that it can almost become a subconscious repetition. It's because each time you do it, you're teaching yourself new tips and new tricks as to how to do it better, more intelligently, quicker, stronger, leaner, whatever word you want to use. Okay, the more times you do something, the better you become at it. Okay, now if you were a kid and you were learning how to play football, learning how to ride a bike, okay, the first time on the bike, you're wobbling all over the place, you're not too sure what to do, you need the stabilizers on. Okay, now the more times you go out on the bike, your confidence develops. As your confidence develops, you trial new things, you trial new ways of riding the bike, faster, slower, left, right, until you eventually figure out the perfect recipe. Okay, so the more times you do something, the better you become at it. Okay, now some skill sets even come to us as natural traits. Okay, so the skill set of riding a bike, balance, speed, understanding. Okay, some of these will have been natural to some kids and not so natural to others. Okay, so some skill sets even come to us as natural traits. Now, this more specifically when we're talking about business can mean lots of different things. Okay, some people have a numerical brain, some people have an English written format text brain. They understand, in school, people were fantastic at English and people were fantastic at maths. Okay, some people have scientific brains, some people have problem solving brains. Okay, some people have strategic and logical brains. We all work in different ways and each is wonderful. You just need to understand what that is and how you can use it to your advantage in the business world. Okay, so some skill sets even come to us as natural traits. Some people are born with a gift for numbers. Some people can do complex math problems in the blink of an eye. Other people can write long essays and books because they have the creativity to create enjoyment for other people. Okay, skill sets can come to us as natural traits. Now, how does this apply to marketing agencies, digital agencies? You can fling up reports in the blink of an eye. You can do the math equations in your head. You can work out return on investment in a click. Okay, sometimes you're fantastic at copywriting. Maybe you're amazing at technology and you can develop websites with ease. Okay, some of these will be natural traits. Naturally, you will be more skilled at something than other things because of the way you have developed as a child, as an adolescent, all the way up to your adulthood. Okay, these skill sets come to us occasionally as natural traits. Okay, so skill sets can be refined, skill sets can be developed. It's important to understand that a skill set can be a combination of two things. First thing, how were you born? What gift were you given when you were born? Second thing, how are you refining that skill set or how are you introducing new skill sets into your lives? Okay, now there's very common business theory, okay, especially in the marketing world. Double down on what you're great at, okay? Don't spend too much time trying to become great at something that you're naturally not good at. Instead, double down and focus on what you're good at so you can become great at it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a brief pause. I'm going to give you the chance to write down any notes and go ahead and ask any questions that you might have for us today, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, perfect. So hopefully you've had a good chance now to take down any notes on topic number one. We're going to flow nicely onto topic number two. Okay, so topic number two is all about thinking deeper. All right, so point number one, what are you passionate about? Okay, now this is an important calculation. It's important to understand because if you're particularly passionate about something, there's a very good chance that you naturally dedicate time to it. You naturally dedicate education to it. You naturally dedicate time. Okay, now what do all these things do? They build experience and they develop your skill set. So I want you to have a think about something that you're naturally passionate about. Okay, if you're naturally passionate about helping people and you naturally commit more time to improving people's lives, then this is a massively applicable skill set. Okay, and we're going to cover lots of these applicable skill sets in topic number three. So I'm just giving you an example now. Okay, somebody who loves to help other people has a natural gift for customer service, for client care, for operations management. They take care of these people. Okay. Now, a massive component of people and in business is taking care of each other. Okay. So if you as a business take care of your clients, they're going to stick around. Okay. So thinking about what you're passionate about first is an important analysis. Okay. Next, do you have a natural talent? Okay. Now, what we're asking you to do here is take a deeper look into areas of your life, enjoyments, passion. Okay. Also, we want to have a little look at any natural birth given talent that you may have. Okay, so talents don't necessarily have to come at birth. They can come, in your sort of early preschool days. Maybe in primary school you develop something. Maybe you have a gift for music. Maybe you have an amazing eye for picking up on attention to detail. Okay, maybe you pick up on things that other people miss. Maybe you have a gifted skill at reading at 4 times the speed of a normal person, quote unquote. Okay, maybe you're extremely analytical and you can find a problem where others may not think that a problem exists. Okay, maybe you can do complex algorithms and math sums. It's up to you to have a look and figure out what your natural talents are. Okay, because many of us, even as adults, don't fully understand the potential of ourselves. Okay, now this is all what this webinar is about: understanding who you are, why you're great, what you're passionate about, and what your natural talents are. Okay, because once you begin to understand this level of thinking, you begin to understand how your current and existing skill set can be transferable to wherever you want it to be. Okay, now you're on this webinar today thinking about this. Okay, so this is a huge first step. Now, after you leave this webinar today, you should continually think about how your transferable skill sets can apply in industries such as digital marketing. Okay, it's such a diverse community of businesses. There are so many different ways that marketing can be applied in the digital world. Okay, so do you have a natural talent is the next question. What experiences have you come across in the past that you've been forced to deal with and develop on? Okay, so this is another question for you to analyze yourself. Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview here. Experiences that we come across are often not our choice. Okay, now let's say that you get into a sticky situation with your manager at work and they're forcing you to deal with something that you've never dealt with before. Okay, you have to think, you have to problem solve, you have to overcome this. So what skills did you pick up as a result of being chucked into a situation that you didn't have much control of? Maybe you didn't have any control going into the situation, but coming out of the situation, you certainly learned a lot. You certainly developed yourself, because if you handled that situation full stop, you allowed yourself to develop further. Okay, so when you develop further, you pick up new skill sets, you pick up new talents, you pick up new traits, and you maybe even pick up new passions. Okay, so if your manager is out of office, if they're busy that day and you've got your day job, they've asked you to deal with a specific situation with this client. You say, oh, no, I don't know anything about customer service. I don't know how to look at these reports. You have to figure it out. Okay. Now, after you have taught yourself how to figure it out, you now have a unique new skill set you didn't have before. Okay. These experiences are not always negative, although they may seem it at the time. Okay. You can treat negative experiences as positive learning experiences. Okay. Where does your work ethic stem from? Okay. Now, there's many different examples of this, and many of us say, when we're speaking with people who are beginning their careers, we like to say, oh, well, this is where I picked up my work ethic, or I used to put in a lot of hours down there. Okay. Now, you probably heard this yourself, and maybe you've even said it yourself, and you say this because it's true. There are different formats that people develop their work ethics from. Okay. Some people have to take care of others in their family and their friend groups. So it's a 24/7 round the clock job. Other people have children to take care of. Other people have relationships to manage. Okay. Other people have houses, items to take care of. Now, that's all personal. Okay. We're talking about work as well. Did you have a particularly tough job when you were younger? Do you have a particularly tough job now? Okay. Where does your work ethic stem from? Do you go above and beyond on a regular basis? Okay. Because going above and beyond, delivering more than what you were asked to do, is an invaluable trait. Okay, now that's not even a talent, and it's not even a skill set. That is an undeniable, wonderful trait that people can develop. Okay, because they want to do more than what they were asked, because they want to help other people. So have a good think about where your work ethic stems from, because every single area of your life, whether you work hard at home, whether you work hard at work, whether you work hard on your hobbies, there are work ethics there that can be applied across the board. Okay, now I'm going to give you a brief moment to go ahead and jot down any notes, and please do feel free to ask any questions that you might have for us there on topic number 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second, and I will be right back with you for topic number 3. Okay, perfect. So hopefully now you've had a moment to jot down your notes for topic number 2, and we can flick over to topic number 3. Okay, so we're going to talk now about trusting your experience. All right, so beginning with point number 1, there is a very good chance that you will surprise yourself with your own ability. Okay, now I see this all the time as a business coach. People who do not believe that they're capable for one reason or another surprise themselves when they give themselves a challenge. Okay, you should absolutely never doubt your own ability to get something done. Okay, even if it's something you've never done before, you can train yourself, you can study, you can learn, you can get experience, and you can get it done. Okay, there's a very good chance that you will surprise yourself with your own ability. Now, this could be with anything. This could be with numbers. It could be with written form, like copywriting. It could be with tech and software development. It could be with anything. Okay, now in the digital marketing world, there are such a diverse number of services that you can offer to clients who would pay for the skill set that you have. Okay, now this is what is so important to understand, because many of us who work corporate jobs or we work another job in our career, we then begin to believe that our job, our value, our self-worth is only relevant in this specific job. Now, what I can absolutely assure you of is that that is not true. You hold lots and lots of value elsewhere. And this is why we are talking about transferable skills. If you've been working in customer service for a long time, you are fantastic at dealing with people, and therefore you would be a great client account manager. Okay, so it is easy to believe that simply because you're new to the digital world, that you don't have much experience. Okay, so let me debunk some of these myths for you. Okay, digital agencies require more than just marketing. Okay, they require great customer service and client care. Okay, if you're working for another firm and you do customer service for them, that is absolutely a transferable skill set. Okay, you learn how to talk to people, you learn how to make other people happy, you learn how to problem solve, you learn how to communicate. Okay, these are all transferable skills. If you have a keen eye for detail, okay, maybe you're an analyst. Okay, now what you can do in the digital marketing world, you can write reports, you can analyze return on investment for people, you can develop new campaigns, you can spot mistakes. Okay, that is crucial in the digital marketing world. Analytical and numerical review skill sets. Okay, maybe you're an accountant. Okay, now maybe you believe that one of your only skills is accountancy based. Okay, well, finance is required for digital marketing businesses too. Okay, that is a massive component of any business across the board. Okay, now there's a good chance that if you are an accountant right now, you work and do the books for multiple businesses. So it's very, very valuable trait. Strong work ethic. This applies from every single form of business. Okay, particularly digital marketing. You must absolutely be willing to do what you need to do to get the job done. Okay, now whilst clients, if you deliver for them, will be very happy working with you and be very happy with the services delivered, you must absolutely have the work ethic to make that happen for them. Okay, now being a business owner is not easy, but it is the most rewarding thing, in my view, that you can do in the business world. Okay, running your own business is an incredible thing. You do need a strong work ethic to make it happen. Okay, the ability to handle complex situations. Okay, if you've been in management position of any kind, or even supervisor position or flow worker position, there's a very good chance that you've had to handle one complex scenario or another. Maybe a tricky customer, maybe a problem with the till, maybe a problem with the building that you're working in. Okay, there are countless, literally countless examples, but your ability to handle complex situations is so transferable to the digital marketing world, because often we in the digital marketing space have so many interesting and fun issues to resolve. Okay, if your software isn't linking up, what's happening? Can you dive in there? Can you do an analysis? Can you figure out what it is? Can you make the client happy? If we are not getting enough return on our advertising campaigns, can you analyze where the problem might be? Can you pick through the sequence and figure out what needs to be solved? Okay, it's an incredible skill set. Strong sense of empathy and ability to build rapport. Those of you who work in sales, okay, this is one of the biggest sales skills out there, establishing empathy with the potential buyer. Okay, I understand what your concerns are. I understand your issues. I understand any troubles that you're having. Let me help you with these. The ability to build rapport, get on with somebody else. Okay, Services don't sell themselves. Digital marketing agencies need skilled salespeople to run, okay? And that can be you. Now, sales skills, talking more specifically about the ins and outs of, okay, we can offer you this because, or we can offer you these 3 levels of service because we feel like these would be best suited to your business. Okay, so these sales skills, these negotiation skills are massively important when it comes to running digital marketing agencies. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, so it's important to understand that no matter where you are, if you're working in a bar, if you're working in a restaurant, if you're working in a shop, if you're working in an accountancy firm, if you're working in a construction site, okay, it doesn't matter what you're doing, okay? One of these skill sets or another lovely skill set will be within you, okay? But you need to figure out what this skill set is and then how you can apply that to the digital world, okay? So to summarize on today's session, right before we do that, we are going to go ahead and give you a moment to write down anything that you need to on topic number 3, and then we will dive on to the summary of today's session. Okay, perfect. So hopefully now you've had a little chance to write down any notes that you need to take for topic number 3. Okay, now we're going to move on to the summary of today's session. Okay, so to recap, topic number 1, assess your unique skill set. Okay, what are you naturally great at? Okay, and how have you refined your skills over time? Consider your natural talents and passions, okay, about what you were born to do, okay? You will have a feeling, you will have an understanding of something you are just naturally gifted with, okay? When you're with your friends, when you're with your family, do you ever do something and then they say, you were born to do this, okay? This is who you are. So figure out what this is. And finally, you know more than you may think, okay? So once again, I want to debunk this myth for you that when you're working in a job, your only value is in that job, because it is absolutely not true. Much of your skill set will be transferable across the board. Great customer service, incredible sales skills, keen eye for detail, massively skilled with managing numbers, data, okay? All of these things are massively applicable in the digital marketing world. So that now brings us up to date on today's session. So once again, a massive thank you for attending today. It's been a real pleasure having you on here. If you would like to talk to a member of our team, you're more than welcome to head over to iob-business.com/talk-to-us. At this point, you're absolutely more than welcome to book a call with us at any time that suits you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this up on screen for those of you that still need the address, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my questions from you guys today. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who took the time to ask questions. Okay, perfect. So my first question here, I've been working in sales for 5 years. How would that help me run a digital agency? Okay, so this is a wonderful question and thank you for asking it. Okay, so my answer, if you have worked in sales for 5 years, there's a very good chance that you're going to be familiar with speaking to lots of people. Okay, you have a diverse ability to relate to varying kinds of personalities. All right, you know what prospects need and want to hear. Okay. This is so accurate when it comes to sales and marketing agencies, okay, digital agencies, because this is so important in the sales roles that you understand what the prospective clients of your digital agency might need, okay? Now, the ability to understand this, okay, you're working in sales for 5 years, I don't know specifically what you did in sales, but if we're looking at this from a diverse point of view, okay, we're understanding the key traits in sales here. Okay, you understand people, you're familiar and comfortable and confident speaking to lots of different people. Okay, so confidence in itself is a big skill set. All right, so you understand what these people need and want to hear. Okay, fantastic question. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. And I got another question in here, something we talked about earlier, which is fantastic because it allows me the chance to run through it again. So the question is, how can I transfer my skill set? Okay, so a transferable skill set defines a universal set of skills that can be applied in more than one situation or context, essentially. Okay, now, if you spent time working in customer service for a big corporation, that skill set could then be transferred over to taking care of clients in a digital agency. Okay, so very simple example. Again, if you've been working as an accountant and you're very used to running tax reports and understanding finance and numbers, you can come over and you can run analytics on paid advertising campaigns, for example, in a digital marketing agency. Okay, so that in essence is what a transferable skill set is. It's something that can be universally applicable in many ways. Okay, so another fantastic question, and thank you very much indeed for asking. I'm just going to go ahead and check if we don't have any more questions for today. Okay, perfect. So it looks like that is all the questions on today's session. Once again, a very large thank you for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on here, and it's been a pleasure presenting this topic to you today. And I very much look forward to seeing you again on the next iOB business webinar. Take care and bye for now.